I'm looking for all the baddies all over the world. Ladies, where my baddies at? I'm bad, you bad. Where my baddies at? I'm bad, you bad. Where my baddies at? I'm bad, you bad. Where my baddies at? Yeah. Real bad on the prowl. Heard you was next, but I'm up now. Yeah, I'm shining like bling blow. And I see a couple haters in the crowd. Yeah, drip, drip, drop, I'm juicy. Don't really care what you say. And we all on Ducey. It's your birthday, girl, go crazy. Now make it clap and get low. Yeah, now back it up a little more. Yeah, now bring it up slow. You need a stage the way you putting on the show. Now grab your bestie by the hand and let her know she bad. Say grab a baddie by the hand and let her know she bad. Where my baddies at? I'm bad, you bad. Where my baddies at? I'm bad, you bad. Where my baddies at? I'm bad, you bad. Where my baddies at? Yeah, I'm fed up, so shut up, don't need your opinion. I'm about to count up your pension. Get up, I need your attention. Hurry up. Keep calm, yeah, never in a rush. See a baddie with a big butt. She a stallion, don't get bucked. Now make it clap and get low. Yeah, now back it up a little more. Yeah, now bring it up slow. You need a stage the way you putting on the show. Now grab your bestie by the hand and let her know she bad. Say grab a baddie by the hand and y'all know what to do. Where my baddies at? I'm bad, you bad. Where my baddies at? I'm bad, you bad. Where my baddies at? I'm bad, you bad. Where my baddies at? Yeah. If you bad and you know it, then shake it when you show it. If you bad and you know it, then shake it when you show it. If you bad and you know it, then shake it when you show it. If you bad and you know it, then shake it when you show it. Where my baddies at? I'm bad, you bad. Where my baddies at? I'm bad, you bad. Where my baddies at? I'm bad, you bad. Where my baddies at? Yeah.
Yo, we've got some breaking news for you tonight. Before we get to Judy and Judy's sacrifice for the cause, we have the new charges against Mr. Lane Myers. They just dropped online. These are the charges that he is currently being held for no bond. Today's hearing was a different no bond type hearing. That one was conditions of release. This one is simply he ain't getting out until he's going to trial on these charges. The new charges are 2 F5, that's the lowest level felony in the state of Arizona, aggravated harassment. That puts that up to 9 counts of aggravated harassment F5. If you combine the two cases. He has 2 new M1 charges, misdemeanor, highest level of misdemeanor, for intimidate, threaten, harass using electronic communications. That means he's been live streaming harassment towards the victim. And finally, we have an F3, that is the mid-level of felonies in the state of Arizona. Stalking, fear, physical injury, death.
Wow.
So these are the charges he is currently being held no bond for. There probably will be more, but these are the ones from last week that they've been holding apparently till today. There is an arraignment listed. It was listed for 9 a.m. today, but I don't think that happened. It may mean 9 p.m. night court tonight, initial appearance, but yeah, or it could mean tomorrow. But it is listed on their website now. It was not there earlier, like at 9 a.m. this morning when I checked. So something is going on. He will have an arraignment for these new charges at some point. That said, getting to Miss Judy. Judy was in court today, and she took one for the team.
Yay!
I'm just gonna say right now, Jim, you did not warn me. You did not warn me. If you did, you did not warn me enough. Then I chose not to listen. But still, it's gonna be your fault. I'm gonna blame you because
Does your brain itch?
it hurts.
There you
It
go.
weeps. It weeps.
There you go. You're
Yes,
welcome.
it weeps. It weeps
You're
for
welcome.
logic. Yes.
You're welcome.
Needs an
Okay.
adult beverage.
Yeah, she's drinking an adult beverage as we all scream,
Sure.
"Hey, Facebook Karen!"
Hey, Karen!
Hey, Karen!
So what happened today was Lane Meyer had number one, there was no chance in hell he was getting out.
No.
But this was for the original charges the prosecution had filed to modify his release conditions. This would have taken effect provided he didn't have a no bond from the new charges that he picked up while he was out on the old charges. So, this was essentially to argue condition changes for his release. And the prosecution was basically, they noted that he's been live streaming new harassment, allegedly. And they were going to go after him for that. But the judge decided in a roundabout way that we're going to have another hearing on Tuesday to determine what exactly he's doing at live streaming, because the jail technically does not have rules against live streaming. They have rules against sharing with third party or having three-way calls, but they do not specify live streaming.
So here's where I think the state was trying to part of his conditions are that he has to stay away from the victim and make sure not to harass the victim. So I think what the state's going to try to prove is that through these live streams he is still harassing the victim.
Yes.
So we'll see how that goes.
And if anyone wants a primer on this, we put up a ton of articles where I basically have been telling you what he's been saying on these live streams. So you can go through them. There's a lot that doesn't get in, but he basically is directing his followers to go out and continue harassment of various people. They have code names for the victim. They screwed up once and said her name on the air, but after the initial gasp, it was like, oh, nothing happened. Well, nothing to see here. The Wicked Witch is who we're talking about. The Wicked Witch. So... But
pay no attention to the man behind the curtain.
Lemon Tart, that is very kind, Lemon Tart. But what I will say is that the court reporter, the stenographer, she needs a bouquet of flowers. She needs some cookies. She needs something. Because
we do need to pause for 1 second before these all scroll. Thank you, Satel, for the 20 gifted memberships.
Holy
Ted Gibson, is that Ted? Yeah, that's Ted. I have my glasses half on. Nani of 10, James Howell, Jojo Turkin, Karen Smith, Timo Kasula, Mark the Sarcastic Law Student. God bless him.
On a F.U.M. Friday, he gets his own.
Yes.
Oh,
Nick Volt, Patty, Deborah Sullivan, Autumn, My Tiny Chihuahua, I can't say the word. Chihuahua Life. Craig Jorgson, the Where's Wally Podcast, Cat in a Hat, Steve Mylernick, and it looks like Ron Boizod. And hey, Touche, welcome. Thank you again, Satel. Thank you.
Thank you, Satel. Very kind. Very kind. Very kind.
Starhead, Namor 18, and John T. Inscrutable.
Yes.
You didn't keep scrolling. It's fine. I got you.
Oh, it kind of okay. It cut off.
Why did you get mad at me last night for getting a free gifted membership? I mean, I'm subscribed to the channel.
Yeah.
Because your talent, being on here is gift enough.
Yeah, because remember, you're a talent, while Gia is management, and so is Phil.
I'm not listening to you.
And Pants is our only communist, but he refuses to come on tonight. So, hello,
Commie bastard.
whoever is
Commie
waving
bastard.
on Judy's screen.
Prodigy.
That's Progeny.
Hey, Progeny.
Hello.
We haven't streamed together in a while. It's good to see you.
Yeah, nice to see you. Well, hear from you.
She does still exist. We haven't buried her in the backyard yet. It's good. It's fine.
It's either that or my homework to bury.
Get to digging. Get to digging. Faster. Dig that hole faster.
I thought kids loved Minecraft.
So, because Pants found a way to get the documentation online, and Judy didn't need to go over to the courthouse yesterday, Judy volunteered
Voluntold.
to go to the court today. At number one, Judy, how many insane people did you see there?
It wasn't like I was like walking through like the couples waiting for the civil marriages and stuff like that. So it was actually Lane had this one all to himself. There were no other, like I'm used to like hearings where it's like everybody goes in and boom boom boom. No, he's special. This was him and him alone. And when I want y'all to know, I mean, I have pages of notes because I play by the rules and no recording was allowed. It looked like a couple people tried to do that right off the bat. So
did anyone get arrested for filming? He ordered his people to come in, challenge the order, and get arrested for filming. That was one of his big points last night.
The one thing I saw, a gentleman sat like, one away from me, the empty spot in the middle. And he was scrolling on his phone. Corrections officer tapped him on the shoulder and said, "Sir, you need to turn your phone off." He said, "What?" "Sir, you need to turn your phone off. Judge's orders." And then he stood up and went outside. He came back in later. That was the extent of it.
So there was no riots in the street?
Actually, surprisingly, no.
There wasn't any mass media there for coverage. The president shouldn't show up.
The way he kept talking about how press, gives interviews. You can give an interview to press all the time. Nobody was there. Nobody was there from press that I recognized.
Okay.
The entire world was watching.
Entire world, yes.
The entire world.
Worldwide news.
Yes.
Someone's raising their hand, Jim.
NCR.
I have a question
Wait. Hold on. Thank you, Dave, for the $5 super chat, and my mouse is frozen. No Lane cheerleaders. I'm shocked. Shocked, I tell you. Now, NCR, go ahead and ask your question.
NCR of the NCR News Network. I have a question for Miss Judy. Did anybody actually look like the people from Night Court? Like there was a crying pimp sitting next to Lane, or a homeless guy trying to give him free legal advice?
There were definitely people there for Lane. Definitely. They were the ones who made the most noise coming in and leaving the courtroom. And I did hear at the end of it all, there were 3 of them, maybe 4 with a young woman. I wasn't quite sure if she was part of that group or not. Talking about, I'm going to be live streaming this, and then you're going to live stream that. And they all went outside the courthouse to have a smoke break afterwards. I wish there would have been perhaps some more. There were plenty of Leos in there, though. Either like bailiffs and corrections officers, or people with the little lapel pin that looked like an itty bitty sheriff's badge or something like that.
Yep.
There were also the victim was there along with her family. And there were 3 people sitting together that were the you know, that cohort. I don't know who all the players were, but the dress code in Tucson is, shall we say, relaxed. I put on a nice, you know, something better than a t-shirt and jeans to go into court.
Business casual.
I don't. There were people who did not. They were the ones who I heard talking about live streaming, if that tells you anything.
Yeah.
So, you know, I mean, I'm not going to disparage folks but at least wash the clothing. Don't have obvious stains on it. But I mean, again, that's me. That's me.
Yeah.
Now we covered part of this.
You're asking
Go
too
ahead.
much, Judy. You're asking too much.
I apologize.
You know, stop being such a posh prick.
Judy, we have a question from Satale. Did they try and make a fuss, or did glares from the bailiff shut anything down?
Nobody tried to make a fuss. If they were trying to make a stand, they suck at it.
Well,
The one guy asked to put his phone away. From what I heard, that was it. I mean, maybe there was something in the hallway that I didn't hear, but that was it. Sir, you have to turn your phone off.
Now, folks, just a programming note: we are not doing Drunk Girl tonight, so if anybody came for Drunk Girl, we are going to be devoting the hour to Judy, and then we will be doing our semifinal vote with Bitch Tits versus James Freeman to advance to the finals of the worst auditor, or semifinals, the worst auditor tomorrow night. That's our programming notes. So Mr. NCR is off the hook unless he wants to declare his love for Bitch Tits Josh Abrams.
No. I would rather see him go through a wood chipper. I would
Okay.
pay for that.
okay, but what I want to know is, how did the honeymoon go last night?
Yeah.
You did get married.
We're way off subject on that. Let's get back to Judy. While we have Judy, before she drinks the rest of that adult beverage, pours herself another, and is catonic for the rest of the night. Remember, she hasn't eaten yet
already.
Now I have a question, Judy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because listening to it, I listened to the audio. It seemed like Lane was a fine mixture of cognitive dissonance and Dunning-Kruger. And I've never seen that combination before. And I want to know, did he look as confused as he sounded?
So he had on cuffs that were attached to a waist belt thingy. That's not the right word. See, he's fried some of my brain cells.
I understand. He was shackled. Yeah, I get it.
Shackled. That's the word. Thank you. So he was doing a lot of I could tell had he not been shackled, his arms would have been
flailing about.
Aircraft. I mean, he just would have been all over. So he was restricted to be doing this. And his attorney, who wasn't really his attorney to begin with, they made a point of saying, I got 3 pages of notes before the judge even comes in. Dang.
Okay, let's go through some of your notes while we have you then.
Parvin likes to talk like this, but he like crooks his top finger, which is weird in my so we had a lot of motions going on that side.
Sounds like they were trying to call a damn baseball game.
It was fascinating. So the start time was
I'm telling defense to steal second.
The start time was 2 p.m. There were like 10 people waiting to go in at 2. And so if you count 3 victims / family, that's still, courtrooms. I don't think they're normally that full
Right.
in the county.
Right.
But I could tell, the Parvin, the standby counsel, for lack of a better term, he walked in with the prosecutor, and the prosecutor immediately went to the victims, and just made sure they were comfortable and all that good stuff. Yeah, heard a lot of whispering about, oh, you're here for Mr. Myers too? Yeah.
Now, was it like actual whispering or the kind of fake whispering where you want people to hear you?
I think this was actual whispering.
Okay.
Because the judge wasn't in the room, so it wasn't completely, it wasn't completely like all hands on deck quite yet. Oh, he started a discussion. I don't know when the actual the live streaming for the court picked up. He started a discussion with what I thought was a bailiff at first, but it turns out he had a corrections officer and a sheriff right on him.
I have a question that ties into this. Did you by any chance happen to see a black box around his waist, or what looked like to be a house arrest bracelet on his ankles?
I did not see his ankles, but I don't think there were plenty of times when he could have been buzzed, if that's what you're getting at, and he was never buzzed. Would that happen for trial? That's a possibility, because these are just hearings, so they're not in front of a jury at all. But decorum was discussed aplenty today.
Yeah, that's came across on the audio.
Yeah, see, Judy has never seen or heard Lane Myers in court.
Oh,
Lane used to lie and claim he had Tourette's syndrome, which would allow him to yell profanities at the judge and not get in trouble. And he gets away with it at the lower level Tucson courts, because those are guys who are barely awake. They let him do whatever the hell he wants to do.
Yeah, they just want to get out. They just want to get out.
Siberian Husky. No Siberian Husky. The device I'm talking about is a shock box. They usually put it on unruly or volatile inmates who are.
Daryl Brooks had it. Brooks had it.
Now, it's usually one of 2 devices. One is a small black box, probably about the size of a cell phone, and it goes on their waist. Or it looks like a beeper on a bracelet on their ankle.
I did not see his ankles when he came in.
And Parson wants to know, did you make any sketches?
No. all chicken scratching. Though I do now know where a mole is on his back that I couldn't.
Well, again, you haven't seen the Lane Myers actual live streams where he is so high, he stands up for 8 hours at a time. His eyes are bulging out of his head. They're too big for his face. Then he takes off most of his clothing and dances to things like Ice Ice Baby.
Yep.
Yes. He has dance breaks.
And he pretends to be his own reporter.
He was definitely looking around the room quite a bit. He and I locked eyes a couple times. Again, I could have lived another day without that happening, but here we are.
Now, was there a love connection?
No.
Did you feel your soul leaving your body?
A little bit. A piece of it. A piece of it did.
What about a love-hate relationship? Like, you just love to hate him now.
I tried to keep a neutral face. I have been told my face has subtitles. I doubt I was able to keep it the entire time. But yeah, the corrections officer, he was kind of the enforcer. He was the one who said to the guy next to me that the phone needs to go off. You know, he had the dirty looks that I was like, I'm not messing with that guy. And then the sheriff, you know, because they have like the sand colored sand camo kind of uniforms on, with big Velcro titles across the top. The sheriff was the one who literally had his hands on Mr. Myers when he came in, and he was kind of the, you know, is it, you doing okay? Okay, no, now you need to be quiet now. Yeah. Oh, really? I'm really, the discussion they had before the judge came in was kind of funny, because it was the, you know, saying something about you're making money off of me by keeping me in jail because we're there. And the sheriff was like, I don't know the ins and outs of your case. Oh, sure, right, you don't.
The whole world is watching.
The judge, the judge has a good judge face. I don't think I saw him get frustrated at all. He's a good judicial character, because I am sure he was frustrated. I know the court reporter was frustrated up the yin yang. But the judge, you really couldn't see it. Later on, it was kind of funny how he tried playing Lane. Anyone of note probably wouldn't have been hooked, but of course Lane was. Hook, line, and sinker. Lane was hooked by the judge's not very subtle but apt ploy to get him to kind of go along with the proceedings. Anybody else would have seen that coming from a mile away. Lane just went right into it. But yeah, I mean, I can't tell you how many times I heard Lane. I should possibly do a count if I am able to get to the hearing on the next hearing. Do a count on, all I did was show a government website.
Yeah.
If we drink on that one, we'll all die. But
yeah,
that one,
he was doing that, and he was doing what was the line, Phil? Public information.
Government information is public information.
Yes.
Yes. He repeated that about 500 times on his live streams last night. He said his goal of today was all he was going to say was that phrase over and over, and then he would need to be you didn't see him physically removed by the court, did you?
Did I see him?
Dragged out of court kicking and screaming. You didn't see that?
No. He just
Okay,
that's what he claimed he is.
Yeah, that's what he pledged. He pledged that he was going to be torn out of the court kicking and screaming. And thank you, Touche, for the $2 super chat. I will get to it in a second.
The judge didn't know what was going to happen. He'd never had anybody like Lane in the court before. He was going to learn his lesson.
Yes.
How adorable for him.
Also, I think we discussed it in pre-show. Lane has given them a deadline of next Friday at 5 o'clock to drop all charges and release him, or else he will take this to the United States Supreme Court and the Arizona Supreme Court. So let's just jump. Thank you, Touche, for the $2 super chat. Surprised Chili didn't show up in court for support. Yes.
That would be hysterical if he did. That would be all of my hell just coming into fruition. He did say, or when his attorney sat down at the table, he was talking about discovery. Discovery is definitely an issue for him, and quite frankly, it's partly his fault, partly not. I can see why he's upset if he is going pro se and is not able to access his discovery. That is an issue. And a lot of the court's time was taken up with figuring how can we make this happen, which the audacity of the court officials, especially the state, trying to make sure that Mr. Myers could have access to the law library and access, because so much of this has to do with media as opposed to paper. And the paper can, Parvin can easily give him paper. He was feeding paper to Mr. Myers before the judge came in, and his response was like, I already got this. This is garbage. This I don't need. You know, and so whatever he got, he wasn't pleased with. And especially the transcript. He was hot and bothered about the transcript. So, I mean, his lawyer was like, I'm passing this now to Mr. Myers. There are no staples, under the very close supervision of the corrections officer. So, you know, okay. And then he was like, this is garbage. This is garbage. He did say, if that's your smoking gun, I'm going to smoke you at trial. So, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to get you laughed out of court was another quote.
Yeah.
And then at 2:10, Judge Metcalf enters. And there's a standard, you know, victims' rights things that he has to give. And then, I mean, literally, the prosecutor stands up to identify herself. And immediately he's piping in, you know, that she didn't provide anything. And the judge is like, okay, hold on. We gotta get appearances for the record. So what do you mean? I mean, he's pro se, so he should be treated like he knows what the rules are. They are hand holding him definitely for this. I'm okay, fine. I'm Lane Myers and I'm here. Okay, that works.
Okay, but if you're a legal genius like he claims he is, how do you not know you have to give your name in order to have a record for appeal?
The judge is literally trying to boot up his computer, and Myers is going off about, you know, this, that, and the third, and the judge is like,
better jurisdiction. Earl Everett carts.
He didn't talk about jurisdiction, surprisingly enough, because the judge was like, you're here, I have jurisdiction. He was talking about the anti-slap. He was talking about the discovery, how it's all garbage, and you know, the judge was like, you need to follow the rules, or A, you won't be able to be pro se, you will be assigned a lawyer, and B, you may not even be in the courtroom. So
now let's jump to the ASU threat. That's the Arizona State University, the law school there. The trouble,
which, fascinatingly enough, is not the Tucson has University of Arizona. ASU is the U of A's biggest rivalry, which I'm just going to put that out there. But apparently U of A, considering who the victim is, wouldn't touch this with a 10-foot pole.
No, but ASU also has a First Amendment clinic, so they handle First Amendment issues.
So
they handle zero criminal issues.
Right, and this is criminal. They may help him with the anti-slap because that is First Amendment, but they cannot help him with the actual trial.
Lane is sure that the anti-slap is going to be absolutely, I mean, all the way. He's sure of it.
Well,
Judge Metcalf won't be able to be any part of any of this, so, you know.
Well, we had Merb actually released a video on the anti-slap motion, and basically he said he got a copy of Lane Myers' anti-slap petition and was wondering where the hell the rest of it was, because Lane, there's no affidavits, there's no
exhibits,
there's no evidence, there's just Lane ranting for 7 pages. And the judge, in his response to it, was like, well, none of this was here, but I'm going to give it a good try, and I'm going to, we're going to honor it like it was everything is in order, and this is why, number one. And it was Mr. Rogers, basically.
Yep.
Well, you did this, you did that, you didn't do this. And then he bitch slapped him. And then, next paragraph. Well, buddy, you did this, you did that. And then he bitch slapped him. And it was glorious. It was glorious. It was like a beautiful day in the neighborhood, a beautiful day to get bitch slapped. Yes.
Have you ever seen Judge Oakley out of Michigan?
Yes.
He's famous for when people disagree with him going, according to you, right? Like, okay, you're saying that doesn't make it so, and that's kind of what this judge was doing to him in a gentler way.
Yeah. And Stu Bear, I would love to see Patrick Darcy do a video on him. I really would.
Yes.
So the first kind of the real point of today was talking about modification of the terms of release, because currently he's got a couple cases going. If he is found guilty on all the harassment stuff, I believe, let me see, held without bond on another case.
Yes.
So the time served now on this case will not count if he is found guilty, because there is no bond there was no bond at the beginning of this hearing.
Right.
So therefore there would be no credit for time served.
Right.
And trying to get the little bit of info, if we modify the terms of release, prosecutor wanted $5,000 bond. Judge was like, I think 500 will do, because he's not getting out because he has no bond for the other one, for the other case.
Right. Right.
So if we just say 500, then you'll get credit for time served. But I'm not going to be found guilty anyway, so what does it matter?
Yes.
Okay, but on the outside chance you are, sir. Perhaps
No, it's going to be dismissed by next week.
Yeah.
Going to be dismissed by next week.
Yeah. You can have a bond, in which case you'll get credit for time served, or if you don't have a bond, you don't get credit. What would you like to do?
The back and forth. This is what I wrote.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Times. Because at that point I'm like, dude, just take the W. They're giving you a W right now, not an L. Take the W. So, and when the prosecutor asked for 5,000 for bond, he did a literal spit take.
Yes, we heard that.
Yes.
But he all over everything.
Yeah, we heard that on the audio, because it was audio broadcast, it was not video broadcast.
Yeah.
That was gross. That was gross.
Yes. And
they went back to, waiving right to counsel. But in order to be allowed self-representation, proper decorum must be maintained. We're going to revisit that.
Oh, yeah.
Many times.
Yes.
Many times throughout the course of this hearing.
Oh, and
apparently he does not understand what proper decorum is.
Bill, you're outside. You're wind.
That's right.
So
what about the? Did he look afraid? Because the judge is asking him.
Now, before you answer, he said right before the judge asked him if he was afraid, I'm afraid that you're going to cut me off and I'm not going to get a chance to speak. And that's when the judge just started laying in on, so you're afraid.
Right.
You're afraid of this. So go ahead, Judy.
That came quite a bit later. Because disclosure, we need to fight about disclosure for at least an hour first.
Yes.
But yeah, that was and what killed me is that he starts talking Mr. Myers starts talking about I'm trying to articulate the nuance involved. Sir, do you know what that word means? I literally wrote Miley time as in he comes in like a wrecking ball. So, he's all about calling the prosecution liars, all this kind of stuff, which that's not courtroom decorum. He also wants to, just rail against everything the state is doing. Now, he may have a legitimate issue with the discovery because Pima County Jail is not a fun place, and it tends to go into lockdown a lot.
Yeah.
And if it's in lockdown, attorneys normally cannot see their clients. And so there is an issue with Harvin being able to go in and talking to Lane, even if he's just standby or advisory. I think they use the term advisory.
Advisory, yeah.
There's still an issue with the two of them getting together. Now, his wife / girlfriend, whatever, is either an attorney, a law clerk, or a paralegal.
She's an attorney. She got fired from her role, and this is what sparked everything. He blamed Matt Walker, the prosecutor, for it. He's focusing on Matt Walker's wife, Shannon, for all of this abuse. That's how this all started. His wife lost his job, and he thinks that Shannon, because they worked at the same university, had something to do with it. So this is when the insanity began. Way back then.
And how long
all
has
of
this
this
been going on now?
Okay.
Because he said 9 months. Has this really been
9
going on
months.
9 months?
Yeah.
No wonder the poor folks looked so weary of it all. My gosh.
And see, all of this is a personal beef, right? He has a personal beef, and what he's trying to do is turn it into a First Amendment issue.
And he said multiple times, "I'm the victim here."
Yes.
Okay. Sure.
Because he's claiming he's reporting on this, and it has interest only to Lane. No one else is interested in this.
And I will just say that our numbers, even though we've given him, we are the only ones who are directly reporting on him out in the quote-unquote press, whatever the hell we are. Shiz says, I'm not a journalist, I'm a blogger. I say I'm going to take journalism protections, because if fucking Chili DeCastro is a fucking journalist, then I'm going to say I'm a fucking journalist too.
Yeah, me too.
But the fact is, I have journalism training, unlike some of these people. I have
absolutely not.
I have corporate training for all this online shit that also plays into you toe the line. There are similar guidelines to being a journalist, like you don't report on yourself. You know, you don't turn into Turtle Boy.
Yeah, you're not the story.
Yeah, if you become the story, you step away and get someone else to report it.
He's the story, he's the victim, he is the main character in all of our lives.
Yes.
We just haven't realized it yet. That's the vibe, definitely, from today. They talked about the release conditions that are basically the same as before: no contact with victim or family, workplace, of victim or family. Hey, Lisa. And to take the videos down. They didn't really go into that as much, because I was kind of like, really? But
he did pitch a bit of a fit, because he claimed that they couldn't stop him from talking to people while he was on a live stream with somebody else, because he's just trying to be efficient.
Right.
Yes, because it's very expensive, these calls.
Yes.
So he should be allowed to live stream to his family.
Yeah.
He definitely tried that argument. It didn't. I'm gonna say that one didn't land with the judge.
I don't think so.
I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that one didn't land. when the prosecutor brought up the call to actions, that as far as she was concerned, that's what happened in a bunch of the live streams, to roast, quote unquote, roast the court. And the judge was like, he said that? Yes, that is a quote, Your Honor. So, the judge, what ends up happening is that a hearing is set for Tuesday to go over why all of this needs to happen, like the live streams need to be pulled down, and possibly why Mr. Myers will have his phone privileges revoked. So we'll see.
You don't have. Go ahead.
We'll see what happens for that, because I may be headed back into the. You put me down the rabbit hole, Jim. The audacity of you.
I'm a bad boy. Gia can tell you that.
At one point, Parvin is trying to whisper again. Parvin, the guy who's trying to help Lane. God bless him. I think, like Lane, he has issues with whispering. He never quite got the. This is how you whisper. This is how he whispers. And when I can hear him say, "Stupid," that's. And he was talking about Lane pulling stupid stunts. That's what he was talking to him about in terms of the live streams. Lane kept fighting and fighting and fighting about this stuff. He asked the judge to pull up the rules of an attorney, and being like, what was the thing he asked the judge to pull up? The
bar
3.6.
Wasn't that the bar information?
About how to relate to the press, basically.
Yeah.
How an attorney is supposed to relate to the press.
Yeah.
Apparently, and I say apparently because I haven't seen the evidence yet, the state is saying that he was reading grand jury testimony.
He was.
Yes.
He was.
Whoopsie doodle.
Phil, you're windy again.
I'll mute.
Okay.
So
you also missed last night. He was literally telling his followers to flood the judge. He put the judge's information on the screen. It started with call him once an hour. It ended up with call him 4 times as much from now on, as he was reading from the anti-slap ruling. He put out all the information to the judge. He's already put out the prosecutor's stuff. He doesn't like Rachel Stiles at all. Thankfully, he wasn't mentioning her body parts. The body part stuff was for her boss, who basically said she had feminine problems with stuff.
Yeah.
That we're not going to get into. But, yeah.
All the stuff that the judge was reading, and then Lane started reading. I was like, dude, this isn't helping your case, because that's not what the state is talking about. Ms. Stiles was talking about using the live streams to further victimize the victims. Imagine my surprise when the parts that he was reading didn't have to do with that. I'm like, dude, they are giving you enough rope to hang yourself, and you are asking for more. Okay, because I mean, I have very little background in this case, as you can tell, and I'm not a lawyer. Yet I could tell the judge literally pulled out the book and started reading from the book the part that Lane Myers asked for, and I'm listening to it going, if Lane did what the prosecutor is asserting, then he's in trouble. And Parvin pulled it up on his phone, and Lane was, going back and forth. And he's, I didn't do this. I didn't do this. I didn't do this. But what about the further victimizing, buddy? Did you do that? Because you skipped around that part.
And we go back to those charges we announced at the start of the show. Intimidation, threat, harassment, electronic communications. It's covered right there.
and he started talking about, well, this, I mean, if KGUN 9, which is a local station, if they interview somebody from jail, that happens all the time. And all I could think of was, oh, it's adorable. He wants to be interviewed.
Well,
and nobody's
he-
giving nobody's interested in his case. It's adorable though.
he's contending that his buddy Joshua Gray, who is an auditor, who is an idiot, who basically just got charges for recording in a Social Security Administration building, I believe, in Florida. He was guilty of that. He's saying that Josh Gray is basically a media outlet. And when he goes on Josh Gray's to live stream, it is doing an interview with the media. And it's not doing an interview with your best buddy who was literally in tears crying over the anti-slap measure yesterday. It's this is unrelated journalist. He's got nothing to do with. We're not friends. No. Yeah, as the guy's crying, giving out his inmate number, and begging people to put money on Lane Myers' books. That's independent journalism. That's
And who's pissed off, and everybody else should be pissed off too at this ruling.
And I do have to say a full disclosure before we go forward. At one point, Rachel Stiles says that she was getting emails from concerned members of the public when Myers was making threats on the live streams. Since Myers is going to FOIA request those, and you damn well know he's gonna, my name is going to come up because when he was directly threatening or implying violence, I did send 3 emails to Rachel Stiles saying, hey, he's live streaming right now and making direct threats. As a journalist, I need to stay neutral on this, but if someone's life is at stake, I am going to ignore some of these rules and make sure that no one's coming to kill the fucking victim. So you guys can use that against me if you want to, but it was the right thing to do. That's all I can say about it. That's you don't put death threats out there and not expect me to say something.
Yeah, and he also said that he paid YouTube to block certain words.
I was
Well,
going to
you-
ask about that, Gia.
You can do that for free.
I was
Yeah.
going to say,
You
I
don't
didn't think
pay
you needed to pay
them.
money. I mean, I'm still a newbie with
Yeah,
YouTubing,
and they
so
got, like,
somebody
code
answered
words.
before-
He's
mean-
using code words for the victims.
Yeah. Meanwhile, he has on the Josh live streams, he literally has the victim's picture up, her name, and her contact info for 4 hours at a time. That is the background screen.
Yep.
So as he's saying, well, I never said to contact her. Well, buddy, your voice is being used, and you damn well know what's behind it.
Yeah.
You
And he
you
says,
know,
He says, are we live on the phone
Yes.
call? Are we live? Yep.
And the prosecutor brought that up.
Yep.
He did tell the judge. I thought this was a bold move, Cotton. Judge, you don't know the meaning of harassment. Judge, you can't make a legal finding. That's what judges do.
yeah.
So, and that's when the judge started to kind of push back of, is that a threat?
Yep.
I didn't threaten you. You're telling me what I can and cannot do.
Yep.
But I didn't threaten you. Oh, okay. And what they were trying to get around to was, what is the live streaming further victimizing the city prosecutor and his wife? Is it further victimizing them? That was there. So much round and around over just that. So at one point, the judge was like, you look scared. Are you scared to have an evidentiary hearing on Tuesday? I'm not scared. I'm not scared, bro. I'm not scared to bleep, bro, was actually...
Well, he actually dropped in. I'm not fucking scared of anything. The judge goes, that's not proper courtroom etiquette.
Not proper decorum, no.
But I need rules, Judge. Can we get together and you can tell me what I can and can't do in the court?
I mean, anybody could have seen that, finesse by the judge coming a mile away. You look scared. Are you scared about the hearing? Anybody could have seen that a mile away. Lane bit hook, line, and sinker just the whole way. I'm not scared. No, you're scared. You're the one who's no. And I mean, the judge just went, Lane would spiral. The judge would try to pull him back to what was at hand. And the poor court reporter, the poor woman, I don't remember how many times now either the judge or the reporter had to tell him to slow down. And along with the judge telling him, stop yelling. This is how I normally am. Well, you need to, but he could reel it in when he wanted to, because he was perfectly fine when he wanted to be fine. And it's just my ADD. Okay. ADD
just
doesn't
like
make you a jerk.
when he used to claim to have Tourette's syndrome, so he could swear in the court. It's my condition. It's my condition.
Seabear, I don't know what DV case they were talking about. That surprised the state because they did not think he had DV charges. And
Okay.
I saw Parvin actually whispering for once with Miss Stiles' assistant or co-counsel, whatever she was. They were whispering about it. I mean, because as soon as he started his tirade about, and I don't even know who this person is, and they say that I have, DV charges against it, immediately co-counsel popped open her laptop and started typing and bringing stuff up and showing Miss Stiles. They didn't seem to know what he was talking about. So I don't know what DV case
This is something new that Lane decided last night. He declared that there were domestic violence charges against him, or that in this case, that the second case that had not been revealed yet. Now, this second case is not the end of the charges, is what we're hearing. There's going to be more, but they needed to get these charges out because of some sort of grand jury deadline by the end of the month. So they may have gone to the grand jury today, finally gotten these charges, but let's see if there's more charges coming. Lane is claiming 20 charges. This is 5 plus 14. That's 19. That's close enough. But there could be more because Lane won't shut the fuck up, and Lane keeps getting himself in more and more trouble. The other thing I want to point out is, yes, we will be airing on this channel the next hearing. However, it will be without commentary. We'll do the commentary afterwards because, frankly, it is hard to follow, and their website does not have a pause feature, doesn't have a rewind feature, doesn't have anything. So this is why whoever's restreaming it is basically just letting it play, because you only get one chance at it, and if we record it on this site, we'll make it publicly available so you then can go back and re-listen to portions or pause, rewind, or we could go through it later Tuesday night and sit here and play portions of it. Hopefully with Judy's reactions to being stuck in court all day. If though
this was close to 2 hours for something that if someone had competent counsel and could have just shut up, probably would have been handled in about 15 minutes.
Yeah, this was an in and out thing, and gee, I may have to borrow money to get wine for Judy or harder alcoholic substances. Or one of those the thermoses that actually have the secret shot compartment, so she could bring coffee in with her. And
listen,
how do you feel about rum, Judy?
When I left the courtroom, and again, most people had left by then. Bye, Gia, by the way. most of the public had left by then. I saw the court reporter leave. And so, you know, the way that I'm thinking is that public face didn't have to be on her anymore because most of the public had gone.
Right.
I stayed to speak with one was court staff. I'm not sure if he was like bailiff per se, but court LEO kind of in that arena. And then the other gentleman that I spoke with had the little lapel pin. So I
Sounds
was
like it might have been
speaking
a
with
Marshall.
them.
Was it like a little star pin?
Yeah.
Like 5-point star in a circle?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a pin that the marshals wear.
Marshall. Oh, well, I think it's sheriff in my neck of the woods, not necessarily a marshal. I think it's sheriff. But I mean, I didn't ask. I wasn't being quite that rude. So I was just talking with them and bringing up the fact that like you don't have to pay Google to nix certain words in YouTube.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? That's when I saw the court reporter leave. And I got the idea that the two gentlemen knew her at least enough to like say hi bye, kind of, coworker kind of level of how you doing. She did not say a thing. She was like focused on going to where only the court folks can go, and then dropping off her stenography equipment, whatever. I couldn't actually see her during the court hearing, but dropping off her little, bag of all the stuff. And then she came out and they tried to say something to her like time for an adult beverage. And she didn't even respond then. She was in her own world of hurt. So whatever grift I need to get going needs to be for her. Because dang.
Just to interject quickly, since we're already at top of the hour, we will do the final semifinal match tomorrow night. That will put the final quarterfinal match tomorrow night, and then we will do the semis and the finals Tuesday night as one big endeavor. Well, yeah, because that's up against Lane Myers. So
he wins. He wins. He
was eliminated in the last round.
Oh dang.
He was beaten by Regan Benson.
I have an idea.
Yes.
Wild card
into the spaghetti wrestling competition against Parsons and the winner of the brackets.
Siberian Husky, the purpose of the next court hearing on the 1st will be to review his live streams and other correspondence to see if it breaks the judge's bond hearing, the bond requirements of not further victimizing the victim, among other things that the state says he has broken, the other conditions. This was you're scared. No, I'm not.
So
okay, buddy.
The 3-way spaghetti wrestling match.
No, because we're gonna see it out. This tournament's been paid for. We're gonna do it properly. So basically, tomorrow we're gonna do final quarter, and then we're gonna do the semis tomorrow night, and then we'll do finals Tuesday night because one matchup isn't gonna kill us after we are done talking about Lane Meyer. Unfortunately, it'll be the quarterfinals are shaping up to be Chili DeCastro versus, let me look.
Regan Benson.
Yeah, Regan Benson versus Chili in the quarters for one bracket. Long Island Audit versus either James Freeman or Bitch Tits. Between Bitch Tits and Long Island Audit tomorrow night, we're going to have a long discussion which one is the worst. Because Josh Abrams, his mouth alone, good Lord. I don't think Chili will have a problem getting rid of Regan Benson. But yeah, Long Island Audit versus Bitch Tits, that's going to be a discussion. We're going to go a little bit longer as long as Judy's up for it. I want to thank everyone for stopping by. I realize it's the top of the hour. A lot of you do need to go on, and Gia needed to say goodnight already, so I didn't want to actually hold voting without Gia here because she's been voting throughout them. We're just trying to keep it consistent. So they're just doing due diligence here. What did the judge ever just lose it?
No,
No.
judicial constraint. He tried at the end, especially. These are my admonitions for you, sir.
Yep.
About court decorum, about all this kind and that's when Lane was like, can we have a talk about what I can do and what I can't do? And the judge was like, I have over 300 cases. They all can figure out how to comport themselves appropriately. I think you can.
They're not innocent. They're not innocent.
I could sum this up for the judge to help Lane. Whatever you think you should do the fucking opposite.
I was just being Lane to Judy's judge.
Yes.
Well, here's the thing. If he doesn't really understand what he needs to do, I think the judge needs to sit him down and treat him like a child and tell him.
NCR. Different. It's different, NCR. You don't understand. He's innocent.
That's what he literally said.
No,
I'm innocent.
No.
I'm innocent.
No. I'm gonna treat
but I'm innocent.
I'm going to play the judge here, and I'm going to tell him this. You are presumed innocent until proven guilty.
I'm actually innocent.
The judge said
that. I'm actually innocent.
Yeah, NCR, he literally kept repeating, I'm actually innocent.
No,
they are not.
But see, they're acting like that because they know they're guilty. I'm innocent.
I'm innocent.
And the judge was like, they will be, there are plenty of people that are a judge not guilty. And I'm
not talking about acquitted. I'm innocent.
Okay, boo. All right. Bye, Pants.
Good night, Pants. Yeah, I'm actually innocent. And Judge, you've got to give me a booklet. I need a booklet. We got to get together so I know what I can and can't do.
Where are these written down at? Where are these written down at?
It's very simple, Lane. It's very simple. Whatever you think you should do the opposite. If you think you should stand up and raise your voice, sit down and eject quietly. If you think you need to insult somebody, just shut the fuck up. Judge has a right to say that in his courtroom.
He was, there were times that even after the judge was like, that language is not allowed in the courtroom, he still drops some, spicy language. And
I know kangaroo court.
There was one time the judge clocked my reaction to his spicy language. And I was like, dang it, I don't have, my face has subtitles, dang it. Because I could tell the judge, I kind of went, but the teacher look came out, I'm sure of it. And the judge clocked me on that one. I was like, dang it. But yeah, there was the judge was really good about giving him enough rope to hang himself, because it's like it's common knowledge. I'm sorry. It's common knowledge that dropping F-bombs is not appropriate for a court. It's just not. So giving him rules to follow, I am sure after this one time of being in his presence, he will work to find the loopholes, and he will work to, work the semantics. But you didn't say this, but I said this, I didn't say that. And it would just be spiraling.
There's one thing that will definitely help Lane out. He needs to find the transcripts of this very particular type of case that went down in Georgia.
Where the devil?
No, not with the devil. A nice man named Denver. Just do exactly what he did in his transcripts, and you can get out of this, Lane.
Dang.
Well, and just to go back to the point I was making earlier, Lane is used to Tucson City Court, where those judges are just daytime drunks who basically are there to rubber stamp it on to the next thing. They're even lower than night court. You know,
How
it's
dare
like
you insult my distinguished colleagues?
they simply do not care and let Lane do whatever the hell he wants because it's too much trouble to try to keep him under control.
Oh my gosh. I felt bad for the judge because that was work. That was
Yeah,
work to
yeah.
keep him on point. And he said
Yeah.
a couple times, we are far afield. We need to zero back in on this. Sir, we are far afield, Mr. Myers. We need to circle back around to this is the topic at hand.
Yep.
And
I say we start crowdfunding for us to create the ultimate judge by merging the DNA of Judge Middleton, Simpson, who else can we think of? Judy,
Oakley.
Oakley.
mm,
Oh God, what's the judge from Florida? The one who dealt with that Solvson and played like a damn fiddle.
oh my
Oh
gosh,
yeah,
the old
yes, yeah.
guy.
Yeah,
Oh,
if you see,
Judge
wait,
Hurley.
well, if you see him, tell him he's not getting out either.
that was like one of my first forays into this. Was watching him take that guy apart.
Yeah,
I say
Great.
we combine their DNA to create the ultimate judge for Lane's trial. Someone get a hold of Elon Musk.
I did hear from the judge fairly clearly that this is definitely pre-trial, and before the jury, it's gonna be I predict it will be a different judge. That there will be, a harder line from Judge Metcalf for trial. In front of the jury, I got the distinct impression it's like you can mess around now because the jury's not here. When the jury is here, we lock it down. That was the impression I got from him. We'll see. Because he tried
to warn him. He tried to warn him on that one. Right? Yeah. If you do this in front of the jury, they will not like it. And that's when Lane was like, "You're giving legal advice for the bitch."
They talked about it.
You're not supposed to smile in the courtroom.
They talked about a court date. That apparently the one that the judge was floating wouldn't work with the victims. The victims are going to be there, so that tells me they are, they're not going to let this one float without them being there the whole time, which will impact the jury. So we'll see when. And then he was like, the anti-slap case that he filed is currently heading up to the state Supreme Court now. But he also has the right of the Swift jury, getting it
speedy
done.
trial.
Speedy trial. Those kind of are like this. And probably all of the charges are going to be combined at one point, but that point is not right now. And I am fairly certain that this prosecutor is got it. She has her finger on it. Because I'm gonna guess that they didn't strike me as someone who knows the ins and outs of YouTube, but is aware of all the different kinds of brigading that Mr. Myers has called for.
Yes.
I may email the prosecution and say, if you need timestamps or any information from YouTube, can we crowdsource this puppy? Because he's got a lot of hours out there.
Yeah.
Lane thinks he's going to be playing every single minute for completeness. He doesn't realize that they're offsetting, principles for completeness in terms of everything, just again and again and again. You don't need the duplication. So we'll see.
But
Yeah.
if you contact the prosecutor, you know what Lane's going to say to you, right?
What?
You contact the prosecutor against me, Judy, you got this? You just made the list.
Yep.
Yeah.
You're getting sued. You're getting sued.
You're getting charges. You're getting everything thrown at you.
Felony.
You're gonna
Felony.
sit next to me.
Felony.
Yeah. Yeah, remember, we're on his list, and I've been fundraising off of that because we're on his list. He's threatened us twice now.
Lawsuit coming in.
I don't know about myself. I know about the show, but I don't know about myself.
I know that I am bad at grifting. Jim, you got to do better. If you're grifting off of this, you got to do better, buddy. You got to do better.
Well, the past couple of days, I will say that we almost beat Lane yesterday in revenue coming in. Now, that was through an anonymous donor who wanted the Jim Sucks Thursdays to continue for 20 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
But then we had more. We did very well yesterday.
What about the shit I did this past Monday? I mean, I tortured myself for this show.
I know, but you that was not for donations on the GoFundMe. Donations on the GoFundMe comparatively to Lane's donations on his Give Send Go, we were within $50. And today, I have not checked it, but he had $50 in donations for today. It dropped off completely. We'll see if there's more after the hearing. But we've had $20, so we're still, and that was from Mr. Parson, who wants 2 more Parson Fridays. So these Parson Fridays are almost scheduled to August now. Thank you, Mr. Parson. So
Parsons presents F.U.M.
Yes,
Friday.
and Judy, are you aware of what F.U.M means?
I believe I know.
What do you think it stands for?
F.U. Mark?
Yes! Yes!
It has dual meaning because it's also F.U. management.
No, you are management, so unless you're going to F yourself, then...
Listen,
I might. You never know. I might
I've
like
heard it
that.
happening before.
I might like that.
But
I say union, you say power. Union.
Power.
No, you can't be in a union because you're management. You're management.
You're management. You're management.
Yes, I am. Yes, I am.
Don't
Since
let
we're
the
all
man
getting this,
tell you what to do, bro.
Okay, since we're all getting the sillies, it's getting late. Let's thank Judy. Let's thank Judy for
isn't that the
being
purpose
here.
of our show? I thought that was the purpose of our show, to just be silly.
Well,
I will have you know, just me going downtown Tucson is a bit of a trek. And
yes.
of course, the construction is just awful. And then trying to find parking where I can walk because I'm fat and old and arthritic. And it's just, listen, I'm just gonna, the horrors.
Oh,
the horrors.
The horrors.
Yes,
well,
it was the things I do for you.
I do have to be up in about 2 hours to see if he makes night court. Maybe the arraignment will be first appearance in night court.
Maybe he'll be like Fappa and not have an arraignment, although he appeared at his arraignment.
Yes, we'll get into Fappa tomorrow night.
That's a
but we're gonna go around the panels here. Good nights, starting with Judy.
God bless you. You got me down this rabbit hole, Jim.
You're welcome. NCR.
Don't drop the soap, Lane.
He did get a shower yesterday. He did get a shower.
He was very excited about it. Very excited about it.
He was very
somebody
excited
was washing his back for him. That's why he got excited.
I hope
finally Pope Phil.
Allegedly.
Pope Phil, who would you have you shower with? Never mind. Let's just get on with your
Mrs. Pope, of course.
Mrs. Pope, of course.
The
Well,
only one that I'll drop the soap for.
Oh,
on that note, everybody, we'll be back tomorrow night. We are going to have the semifinal or the final quarterfinal match, then the semifinals tomorrow night, and then.
By the way, have I told you my wife's name? It's Peg.
Ouch.
Good night, everybody, and don't forget to tip your waitress handsomely. She deserves it after listening to this crap.